Here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sharing the Mouse. David Cottingham here with my beautiful wife.
Right. Hi. We were just talking about that. The reason why you said beautiful wife, because I said, I have winter break hair today. Don't care. Winter break hair, don't care.
And it's the last day of your winter break.
And it's the last day of my winter break. We were lucky that I put on makeup today. How about that?
Well, you did go out and do stuff.
But I still will go to the grocery without makeup.
True.
So...
Thank you for joining us again. Happy New Year to everybody. I guess, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, because before we left for our trip, or our last episode we did before our trip.
With the coolies.
Christmas down there at Disney with the coolies.
Yep.
Which we will have them back.
That's going to be a two-parter episode, I think.
Probably, yeah. We are going to bring them back to summarize what their feelings and everything about the trip was. We had a great time. I mean,
oh my gosh, yes.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
It was, I feel like a 2-part trip for us because, we did our thing where we experienced the new resort, new food, new dining, new snacks, new rides. But at the same time, we're showing them all new things.
We were like a VIP tour guide.
Dude, we pretty much were. That's actually a good way of putting it, because we of course had to do things that we probably wouldn't have done.
Right. Totally.
But they needed to experience it. Avery, their little one, needed to experience it. So, but we're going to talk all about that later. Of course, obviously, we're going to get into a lot of our thoughts and feelings about our resort, which we stayed at, which was Coronado Springs.
Yeah. Tower.
The tower.
It's the Grand Destino Tower.
The Grand Destino. Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
Because you know all the other places, right?
Like
they call them
the buildings. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I didn't know the names of all those whenever we were there.
Yes.
But I know there was 4 bus stops that we had to go through before we got to the Grand Destino. Yeah.
Yes.
I just call it the tower.
Unless we were lucky enough to get a bus that was already full. And when we saw that it was full, we were like, yes, no stops.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'll stand.
But we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about, of course, we run through our dining, kind of update our lists. Mm-hmm. If our dining lists have changed, if our snack lists have changed, our rides. Yeah. We'll see. And there was some good stuff that I tried, I'm telling you.
Yes, definitely.
Always. But once we run through some news here, the main thing we want to talk about is the brand new part of the trip that we experienced, which was Genie Plus.
Yes.
I think that's important because you're getting a lot of clients talking about that right now. And should I do it for now?
Lots of questions.
Yeah. Should I do it? Not do it?
Lots of confusions. And it is like that. It is confusing.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Yeah. It's a lot to go over. So,
yeah.
But first and foremost, as I just mentioned, you can get a hold of Brooke at Brooke Cottingham Travel on Facebook if you are looking to go.
Yes.
Look, it's the first part of the year. You've already got a lot of bookings this year.
Oh, for 2022?
Yeah.
Loaded, which is awesome. And I like the way it truly is, since COVID, little bit harder to do a last minute trip.
Oh, yeah.
With park reservations and all that. So everybody's trying to pre-plan, which is fabulous because all you have to do is put a $200 deposit down, just as if you called the resort, the Walt Disney World yourself to book it. But I give you magical extras.
That's right.
And I'm free.
However,
so it's just putting a $200 deposit down. I had people who wanted a 2022 Christmas trip book last year, and then you just make payments if you want to.
Yeah. Right.
And it gives you a lot more time to plan and research and get familiar with some of the new things like Genie Plus and the app. And yeah. So
there's still time, still room.
Lots.
And of course, obviously, if you're looking for 2023.
Excuse me while I get a drink out of my cute cup here.
Yeah. 2023, if you're looking for that, obviously you can book for that too, right?
Yeah.
You got 2023 bookings yet? No, you don't have any of those yet?
Oh, I don't know. That was
I don't know.
That was a stump question.
Anyway, I just know in 2021 you booked a lot for 2022.
Oh, totally.
So,
yeah.
So it's probably going to happen this year, right? So you'll book for 2023. Yeah. Okay, so just some real quick run of news because we didn't really do any news last year, but last episode. I'm sorry.
It was last year.
Yeah. So, but real quick, Typhoon Lagoon is reopening right now. It's just been Blizzard Beach, but Typhoon Lagoon, which is the one we were going to go to.
Yeah.
We had that booked summer 2020 before our trip got canceled because of COVID. Mm-hmm. So we keep talking about it. One day we will hit one of those.
Yeah. So Typhoon Lagoon now opens and Blizzard Beach closes for refurbishment. For a little bit. They're going to do a little trade. Yeah.
All Star Sports is reopening. Mm-hmm. I believe the other ones are already reopened, right? Everest. This is kind of big.
I know.
Everest is closing for refurbishment for about 4 months.
What were their exact dates?
It's January 4th, I think tomorrow. Is tomorrow the 4th? No, I think Tuesday.
Tuesday's the 4th.
And then mid-April is when it's going to reopen again. So, unfortunately, if you're going this first part of the year, hopefully spring break, maybe they'll get it back, but it said mid-April. It's going to be closed for refurbishments.
Oh, Sam would hate that.
Which is crazy because, it ran fine when we were there. But
well, thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
I always question it.
Refurbishments is crazy because I don't know if that means
painting.
It does mean painting. Are they going to
get all the hair ties, the ponytail holders off up there at the ledge?
I wonder if they're going to maybe replace some track.
Could be.
It could be doing all kinds of stuff. The cars could be getting redone. I don't know.
Yeah, lots of things.
Lots of stuff. So, but it's going to take 4 months to do it. So, unfortunately, that's gonna happen. You won't be able to ride it if you're there. Magical Express is officially gone.
Yes, they are. They do have a couple more days worth of runs that they're making, but then I think it's
today,
January
2nd.
I know, but I think they extended it just a little bit, and it could be today, or I'm feeling January 10th could be like their last ride day where their people have checked in or whatever, and. But there's still several options that you could do, and I can help you with that also, and play with kind of what works best for you. We Uber and Lyft a lot to and from the airport, to and from the parks, to go make a dining reservation, to run to Disney Springs, to try to see if they have a backpack last minute. And but like they're offering a Mears Connect, which actually was the company that it was the old Magical Express. Yeah. But Mears Connect is doing their own thing, and they are offering services, and it's a paid service. And then also a new transportation bus line called Sunshine Flyer is coming around, and it has like a skin on the outside. What do you call it? Like a paint job on the outside that looks like a train. It's train themed.
Oh, really?
So it's themed. Finally, it's like a cute themed little thing, and kids get conductor hats, and it's also a paid service, and it kind of runs about the same price as Mears Connect. They differ in like one area by $2. I can't remember if it was like the child round trip or something like that. And then I can also offer Ace Luxury, so there's lots of options. You can rent a car still.
Yeah, we'll have to look at the bus services versus Uber. Or Lyft, because we did do Magical Express when we went this past trip.
Yes.
But we weren't. But there was no line. But what was horrible was that we didn't get the Disney bus.
No.
We just got a regular bus.
I know, because that's one thing that was kind of dividing us. Like, let's just get Uber and go. It's super fast, and we can get to the resort. And then we were like, but it would be so nice for her to, and us experience Magical Express for the last time and let Avery get on there, because that truly is when your trip starts, because they play the videos. It's themed out in a Mickey bus. And then we get like the big white.
Yeah, it's just a regular
coach bus.
It's a charter bus, and
with nothing.
No TV.
Nothing. I was like,
it was plain white, so they didn't experience Disney right away like that.
So I can quickly give you prices on, I had to pull it up on my Instagram account, for the Sunshine Flyer. So it's $17 per adult one way and $34 per adult round trip. And then $12.50 per child and one way. And they consider child ages 3 to 8. Or $25 per child, ages 3 to 8, round trip. Children under the age of 2 will be free and can sit on the lap of an adult. So that's the brand new service that's getting ready to roll out. We can begin bookings now, and they start February 1st as an option.
Great.
Can they hear the dog toy?
They might.
You all might be hearing it's a dog toy.
Playing with the dogs downstairs. Fantastic. Okay, so Magical Express, Fantasmic. I think we mentioned that earlier, but it is coming back this year. Hollywood Studios. I do want to do that.
I do want to do that again.
We did that our first trip, and I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that.
I do want to do that one again.
Festival Fantasy Parade is coming back.
Love it.
Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. They released at least a preliminary date of summer 2022. That's in Epcot.
I don't know how I feel. Well, obviously I have to ride it, but I don't know if I can do the coaster and the spin.
Yeah, I have to see how that goes.
Because it rotates, I guess, to wherever the action is in the ride, so it'll rotate you to the action.
I can do it if it's not as fast as a roller coaster, but you know what I mean? Like if it's flying and then spinning.
And spinning.
Whoa, yeah, I don't know about that. We'll have to see. I'll have to see how that goes. But I did see something today. I don't know if you know, but didn't give any specifics, but it just said that Tron may be delayed because of funding or something, which I don't understand that necessarily, but they're trying to get it done 2022, but it may actually not be till early 2023 now.
Yeah.
So I really want
that. We're dying for that one.
I'm dying for that. I can't wait to get that going. So
I know we keep watching YouTube videos of it in, where's it in?
It's in Shanghai, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Shanghai Disneyland. Okay, so then the big news that dropped a couple days ago was officially Bob Iger leaving the Walt Disney Company.
That picture that they posted of that where he's walking out and then it was like a shadow of Walt and Mickey on the wall.
It was like a picture of Mickey. Yeah. It was that famous picture of Walt in his house. And then
standing outside the door.
And they put Mickey's shadow on his wall there. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing how the tweets that I've read and the stuff, the article.
Is that okay?
Yeah. The articles that I've read, it's, let me just make sure. Okay. I don't see anybody saying anything bad about Bob Iger.
No, how could you?
I mean, yeah. I mean, the guy.
We scratched our head at the same times.
The guy was the CEO for 15 years. He's been at the company for 47 years. He started with ABC, which eventually got bought by Disney. So he's been with the Walt Disney Company for that long, 15 years. And then the last couple of years, he's been on just as the chairman. But to do what he did in 15 years, which is, add Star Wars, buy Lucasfilm, buy Pixar, start Disney Plus, do all the changes that he did to the parks. It's just
Marvel.
Oh gosh, yeah, Marvel. Yeah. I mean, it's just he had a vision. And
Beatles. Did he buy the Beatles? Or was that before?
He might have done that too, yeah. But by far, I don't know. I don't know how. What?
I've cracked myself up. You're fine. Just keep going.
I just don't know. It's amazing what he's done, and this guy, Bob Chapek. I'm not sure what else. What more
has he done?
Even Bob Iger at the end, bought all the Fox stuff too. So. That's why all that Fox movies.
You don't know about what Chapek has done here.
Yeah, I don't know. He's getting a lot of slack, and
but it seems like Bob Iger was like the Walt Disney mindset.
Yes.
Right.
Well, of this era though. Right. Because
exactly.
this era is not about necessarily, when you've established the Walt Disney Company like you have, Walt was always creating new things, right? Creating new experiences at the parks, creating new movies and new animations. You had to do that in the beginning, but now, it is about expanding. I mean, when you're on top and you're the biggest company in the world, you don't just create a new Marvel line. You go and buy Marvel. You know what I mean? Because they already established themselves. So that's what surprising. No other Disney CEO did in the past was they didn't really look to acquire. And in this day and age, acquiring companies is really how you grow your own company. So he just had this vision of they're successful. Let's just get them and he had a long, fortunately he had some great relationships. One being George Lucas. So George even said for a long time, he's like, if there was one company that I would sell to, it'd be Disney. There wasn't going to be anybody else that he would have sold to. So, but I don't know. It's just, you have those relationships, you build that brand, and now you have established this Disney brand, and then Disney Plus, it's been a home run. I mean, they've been
from the get-go.
From the get-go. I mean, they exceeded their 5-year plan in like 2 years.
1 month.
Yeah. So I don't know, but Disney. The funny thing is, you look back at the Disney CEOs, and it's a wave. Like some do well, some don't do well. Some do well, some don't do well. So he obviously has done well. We'll see where Chapek takes this thing. But it's all about, to me, I don't. Whatever, you can buy whatever you want. You can put it on Disney Plus, whatever you want. At this point right now, because what we're doing with our family and everything, it's like I just want the parks to keep evolving.
Right.
I want to go and continue to experience new things at the parks. Not wait 5 years to go experience something new. If we decide to go every year, I want something new every year. So hopefully they keep that vision of Walt alive, which I think they will.
Right.
Good
talk.
Anything you want to say about it? No?
I got nothing.
Yeah. But you liked everything, Bob. You like Bob.
First Bob.
Iger.
First, yes. Bob Iger. Not second Bob.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. He still has time.
Give the man a chance.
Okay, so that is it. With that, we're going to get into talking about Genie Plus. Now, so Genie Plus, dropped. Our daughter. Yeah.
Our daughter's with my sister at a birthday party, little kid's birthday party. And she is into taking pictures right now with funny poses. Oh. And she sent like 6 pictures. It's pretty cute. I gotta ignore her.
And they had some good times. They had some good times there.
Oh yeah. And we'll talk about that when we talk with the Coolies. But Sam has always had a friend. Eliza has never had a friend.
That's true.
So it was Eliza's turn to have a friend this time, even though it's her cousin. They're like cousin sisters is what we call them. They're best friend, cousins, and sisters.
Basically, yes.
So it was nice for her to have somebody this time. And I think she really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Genie Plus.
Genie Plus. Okay, so Genie Plus came out in October. So it's been going for a couple months. Now, normally, first thing I will say, because we said this when we did our kind of 101 on it, was with Genie Plus, you have the Lightning Lane feature, right? So you can book Lightning Lanes. Obviously, you have to pay for Genie Plus, right?
Yes.
$15 a day per
$15 per person, per ticket a day. Disneyland is $20.
Whoa, 20?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. That allows you to book Lightning Lanes. Now, I'll get into that in a second. But the biggest thing is that when it first opened, you had 2 rides per park that you could pay for. You might need to text Sam.
We also have a wild animal scratching at our door. I need to message our dogs.
So 2 rides per park that you can pay for.
Yes.
And bypass the whole Lightning Lane thing. You just buy a time and they're done. And that's the only way you can get those rides. So with Magic Kingdom, it was Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Space Mountain.
Yes.
Hollywood, it's Rise of Resistance and
Mickey
and Minnie.
Runaway Railway.
Right? Yeah.
I never can do that.
You're right.
Mickey Runaway.
Epcot,
Railway.
it was Test Track and Remy, right?
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, Animal Kingdom was Flight of Passage and Everest.
Yes.
But the third day we were there, the holiday week, apparently, they removed one of the lightning lanes.
Yeah, which was like,
lightning
ooh.
lanes. So it was only one per
Nice.
park. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was Flight of Passage,
Rise,
Remy, and Seven Dwarfs.
Yes.
Were the 4 you can buy.
Right.
The other ones were part of the lightning lanes.
Yep.
Okay,
that
so
nice
that kind of threw a loop.
surprise.
That kind of threw a loop in us because here's the thing. What we discovered, I'll just say this off the bat and then you can talk about it. What we discovered was at 7 a.m. is when you can book your first lightning lane.
And
buy,
individual lightning lane.
And buy a ride. So you can do both at 7 a.m. because you can buy one and you can book one. So, which is great because we did that every morning. But the advantage we had was they extended the opening of the park day
also
from 30
along
minutes
with
to an hour.
One. Yeah.
So when
which was incredible.
Hollywood Studios opened at 8:30, for us it opened at 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
So we, like we normally do, we go right when the park opens, and we're able to book our lightning lanes, but then also go get in line and ride some of these high valued rides. So for example, Hollywood, we bought Rise of the Resistance. We booked a Slinky, but we went and rode Slinky right away so we can get it twice because we knew you'd never get another lightning lane of it. Well, you can't. And you can't. You only get it once. That's right.
Like once you book a lightning lane, you can't book that lightning lane again, but you can stand by.
Right.
Wait.
So let's start from the beginning. How did you feel? How easy did you feel at 7 o'clock it was to get lightning lanes?
Oh, I thought it was really easy. I mean, they were all there.
Yeah.
You just got to have quick fingers
but
to get it.
True.
They were all there. And even when we went back 10, 20 minutes later, they were all there.
But they were going fast.
They were going fast. And then, like, let's say Slinky, after we booked it for whatever time we booked it for, let's say at 7 a.m., we were able to get a 10 a.m.
We got
time.
Like 10 something, I think, yeah.
But going back in and checking, because we were checking to see like what was the pattern of rides and what was happening in the system since it was our first time, it would show up like an 8:20 p.m. lightning lane time, which means all those times before that were gone because when you get into the Genie Plus system, the time that you see, it's not like the old Fast Pass. No. The time that you see is the next available time. So you don't want to wait around and be like, well, I want to see if 4 o'clock pops back up or whatever.
Yeah, because I remember Fast Passes, you could pick a time.
Yeah.
You could pick a range. This is it. There's whatever's listed is listed.
Yeah. But however, and I don't know if this is jumping into it too quick, we would do like what's it called? Like refresh and grab or whatever, because you could refresh. And they would, once park opened, I think, wasn't that like what we discovered?
Yes.
Release a few more lightning lanes.
Yes. Well, either that or people were canceling. Yeah, I don't know which
So
one.
it could have been either. We don't know that they were releasing them.
I don't know which ones. But like you said, Slinky, for example, I mean, that went fast. And when we did at 7, here's the thing, too, I noticed. I felt like this happened 3 out of 5 times. You would see, like, say, 12:50, and you would click on it, and it would be a different time.
Then it'd say, like, 1:10.
Then it'd be, like, 1:10. Like, it's that...
Because people grab that time.
It's that fast.
Yeah.
That is changing that much. I felt like whatever time it clicked, it never was that exact time.
Yeah.
It was a little bit later. So, I felt like it went easy. I felt like we both had 2 phones going, and we... click this, click like that. But again, 7 a.m., Slinky, I thought we would get something sooner than like a 10 something. So
Yeah.
those early ones went quick.
Yeah.
The first ones went quick.
And that could be the thought of, like maybe those people. Well, they could have done it. I was trying to think of a different way, but they could have bought Rise and then just grabbed, like, had two phones going and be like, you buy Rise, I go for Slinky. And then they were able to get an earlier time. Or they rope drop Rise of the Resistance.
But that's what, I was about to say. But I feel like everybody had, I feel like 90% of the people waiting in that group of going into the parks had the same agenda, which was...
Yes. Everybody had their phones out.
Which was book a lightning lane somewhere else, but then rope drop the paid ones.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody went to Rise.
Everybody
went to Rise.
Everybody.
You could have took solo... We did. We took pictures by ourselves down Sunset Boulevard in front of Tower Terror because no one was over there.
Nobody went that way. There were 10 total, probably, that were waiting in between Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster lines.
Yes, when we went there the second time. The first time we went straight to Slinky and we
walked right on.
Yeah, we walked right on because no one went to Slinky. Everybody went to Rise. Everybody went to Rise.
Everybody went to Rise.
I mean, it was when the park opened, it was a 3-hour wait.
Yes.
So the lines were already forming at 7:30.
And that again is why we said during our trip, like, man, that 1 hour we got as being an on-site guest, that was crucial.
Huge. Absolutely.
Look at all the things that we were able to do in that 1 hour that you could still do in 30 minutes. Like if you go in 2022 and now or whatever, and it's only a 30-minute early entry into the park. I mean, that's 2 rides, could be 3 rides.
Yeah, still do it.
That you could do.
In Hollywood, our second day, we rode rock and roll. We walked on Rock and Roller Coaster, walked around Tower Terror, and then walked right back on Rock and Roller Coaster, and then walked to Smuggler's Run and only waited about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
4 rides in less than an hour.
And Smuggler's Run gets a high time.
Smuggler Runs gets a because I knew we would have a hard time getting a lightning lane for that.
And Rock and Roller Coaster. I mean, they got up to like 50 and 60 minutes and 70 minutes that day.
Yep. But I felt like lightning lanes for those popped up pretty easy.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. So anyway,
because we grabbed one late.
Yes, we did grab one late. At nighttime.
Yeah,
that was fun.
During dinner. You'll skirt it out.
So really quick running through the parks. Again, just telling everybody if they go, the mentality of the group. Magic Kingdom.
Can I do something real quick before you get going? So, like, I knew some people who stayed off-site and had Genie Plus, and they were not successful in getting some of those rides because they booked their Genie Plus when they came in to the park.
Yeah, right.
Right. So a lot of those times were
park open, or they have to actually physically be in the park
opening.
Yeah, park open.
Yeah, a lot of those rides, like we were talking about, like Slinky and stuff like that, they just waited in line.
Yeah.
For so another advantage of on-site.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to look at it like that.
Absolutely.
So, all right, sorry, go.
I was just going to run through the Magic Kingdom. I felt like everybody booked Space Mountain and rope dropped to Seven Dwarfs.
Yes.
Epcot, everybody booked Remy and rope dropped the Test Track.
Yes.
Because that's where we were.
Or Frozen. People
also went to Frozen, but and that doesn't have, it has Lightning Lane, but it doesn't have paid or anything. But they did, you're right.
Because that one gets up there too.
That one gets up there. And then Animal Kingdom, everybody went to Pandora.
That was another like Hollywood Studios day where it's like the masses go that way and we go this way.
You can ride Everest in the morning probably 4 or 5 times if you want to.
Oh, more than that.
Yeah, in a row. I mean, there's no one
way
over
more
there.
than that. Because we were there for probably at Everest. I mean, how many times did you all ride it?
We rode it. We rode it twice that morning, and we rode it once later on. We had a lightning lane later on.
Yeah, but you got on, got off. There was
we got on, and then we waited for the coolies to show up, and then we went back on again.
And then got back on, and then we went and because our favorite breakfast sandwich, little spots right there too, sat and ate breakfast. So it was like 30 minutes after early entry for guests. before we started seeing the Flight of Passage people coming our way. Over.
Yes.
So 30 minutes, if you're an Everest person, I mean, like, think about how many times you could ride it.
You could.
Within that time.
I saw tons of people getting on, getting off.
Oh, yeah.
They were just getting on, getting
totally.
off. But I will suggest, and we'll get into this too, I think, when we talk about our days, but my biggest thing on Animal Kingdom, which I was surprised about, was how big the safari line got.
Yeah.
I've never seen it that big.
Oh, later in the day. That's
later
right.
in the day. I mean,
it
was
way out.
It was, 120 minutes maybe. I think it was 2 hours.
But we were the week before Christmas too. So
That's true.
A little bit busier time.
But I will tell you, we booked, we paid for Everest. I'm sorry,
Flight of
Passage, and we booked an early safari because I'm telling you, the morning is the way to see that safari, man.
It's feeding time.
Feeding time. We saw everything.
Yeah.
The lions,
the
everything.
hippos were really active this time. Where when we go, sometimes we'll go, I don't know, like later in the day or something like that, and they're always underwater.
Yeah.
And
no, we saw
rhinos. Yeah,
giraffes were running around. I mean,
elephants.
It was
everything was out.
It was awesome.
Cheetahs. We never get to see the cheetahs.
I know they were actually moving up and moving around. Yeah, so definitely go see.
Yeah,
them
that's
in
always
the
our route, and that's what I was talking to because I've had some meetings with some clients that are getting ready to go, and we were just sitting down and mapping out their day and looking at stuff and getting some ideas, and that's what we were saying. Just like book Flight of Passage, just
yes,
and then go hit Everest Safari.
Yes,
you could go get the first few Lion King shows.
Yes, we did that. Yep.
And there's nobody back there.
No.
Eat a sausage, egg, and cheese croissant.
Yeah. So I think overall, we had success with it. Now I will say, the thing that I didn't really care about it much was that, and maybe because I'm so used to fast passes, like when one was available, especially on rides that aren't that high in demand, I feel like with fast passes, I just remember getting them and saying like, hey, I got a fast pass for this. And it'd be like within the next 15 minutes.
Oh, right.
Whereas Lightning Lane, the closest we ever got one was like an hour or so still away. So we still had to kill an hour somehow before we went. You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like
we got some a little bit closer than that, though, didn't we?
No, I mean, not that I remember. I mean, if you remember, but I remember just always getting them and being like, it'd be like 2:00 and hey, I got a 3:15. So let's do something. And honestly, if it was just us, me, you, and the kids, I felt like we would have maybe got in line for something and just waited and rode something. Whereas we were the coolies. I know they weren't really big on waiting in line. So we had to go and do something else. So we either went shopping or we went pin trading, or go get a snack or something like that. So
take a leg break.
I just, that part really that's the only thing that really somewhat bugged me about it, which you don't really have any control over, obviously. But, with fast passes, there was always it felt like a pool of times. And, the soonest one was really close to where you were. Just Lightning Lane doesn't seem like there was anything too close to when you first looked. And then, of course, some of them are really late in the day because they're taken. Now,
we were able to stack.
That's what I was about to say. So
they were talking about taking away stacking.
So let's talk about what we proved was correct.
Yes, and then what we thought would be correct but was wrong.
Yeah.
Well, and to backtrack real quick and go back to individual Lightning Lanes, that you don't need to purchase Genie Plus to buy an individual Lightning Lane.
Correct.
So, like, if you're at Animal Kingdom, which might not be a day that you need Genie Plus, if you rope drop, if you're there at park opening, it could be a day where, like, I'm not going to buy Genie Plus for this day, but I will buy Flight of Passage by itself, and then I'm just going to go rope drop Everest and go do the safari and go stand in line. But I don't know. And then I think about that too, and I don't No, and maybe it was just a time of week that we went that I don't know that we would have been able to do all the things we wanted to do without Genie Plus. Because we booked a lot.
We would not. We would have waited a lot more in line for sure.
Yeah.
If we want to do those rides. Yeah, totally. Now here's one thing I will say, just as you're talking about it, like I guess I kind of understand why they limit it to just one per ride. But why wouldn't they let you buy another flight of passage if you're
like the purchasing ones?
Yeah. Well, even the lightning lanes, like I feel like you should be able to do them more than once. Maybe twice, maybe three. I don't know. I don't know if they're trying to give everybody a chance to ride it, maybe. But especially the paid ones. Like if I'm willing to pay for another round,
let people pay it.
Why wouldn't they want people to pay it? And I think a lot of people would.
Yeah.
A lot of people would pay for Rise of Resistance, you know. A quick side note: we did pay for Rise of Resistance the second day. We got a late one because something was messed up with your phone, and it happens to be that the ride was closed most of the day.
Yeah,
and we were able to get a refund. So people don't worry if you pay for one and the ride doesn't work, you will get a refund for. Or you can use it for the next day if you're coming back the next day and stuff like that. But that was good. I think
they work very well with that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But man, I was just thinking, like, man, if we rose Rise of Resistance, like, if I wanted to pay for another one later in the day, why wouldn't they let me spend my money?
Yeah.
You know? Or even make it more money if you're trying to deter it, you know? But I will say when they moved it to the one per day, they upped the price.
Oh, yeah, they did.
It wasn't the same price.
Yeah, because we were like, wait a second. We're getting a free one, but the others are more expensive. Okay.
Yeah. Rise was 15, I think.
I think so.
And
I don't remember all their prices.
One was 15.
Was Remy like 9?
Remy was 9. I think Fly Passers was 14. When normally it's like 9 or 10, right?
Yeah, I don't remember.
So anyway, let's talk about stacking. How that worked.
Well, one thing that we were thinking, we were like, oh, let's see if this works. Is we booked at 7 a.m. standing in line to get into the park, and then we were thinking the 2-hour rule, right? So the 120-minute rule. We were like, ooh, is that after the 7 a.m.? Could we possibly be able to get it, or is that 120 minutes after park opening?
Right.
Because during the day, if you book one, it's 120 minutes after you just booked that. So if you booked it at 11:51, a ride, then at, what's that? I only teach kindergarten, 12:01, 1:51,
yes,
you can book another one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we were able to.
But it is but the beginning of the day, it's 2 hours at park open.
After park opening.
Yeah. So if the park opens at 8,
yeah,
and you already booked one at 7, you can't book one at 8, but you can book one at 10.
Yes.
So 2 hours after the park opens, you can book another lightning lane.
So that's where it stacks.
Even if you have one still at 7 a.m. Now, if you go into the park, say you have a 9 o'clock one, you go in. So this, I think we proved this too, right? So say we have a 9 a.m. lightning lane that we booked at 7. We ride it. We immediately book another lightning lane at like 9:15. We cannot book one at 10 now, right? We have to wait 2 hours
after what
from
we just
9:15 now.
Yeah.
So your clock resets depending on when you book the lightning lane. Because we thought, let's try to get one at 10 again, but you couldn't do it.
Yeah, and it tells you too. That's what we found too. Like after you've booked your lightning lane, it's in fine print underneath of it, but it says you're eligible again at 1:30.
That's right.
Or whatever. Because we were trying to figure that out, and we were like, it just says it right there. How did we miss that? But we were able to at 7 a.m. if, let's say it's a Slinky ride that you don't get immediately, and it's a 3 o'clock is the first available booking time, and we grab it.
Yeah.
Park opens at 8. So then at 10 o'clock, we get on, and we see that Tower of Terror has an 11 o'clock. We can book it.
That's right.
While still having the 3:00 Slinky Dog time.
Correct. Now there's a little bit of a there was a little bit of a discrepancy I remember seeing with one of those videos about it early on, was that I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like when they talked about stacking, is that if you got I feel like what they were saying was that if you had a late one, like you just said, 3:00, and your time came up, you could book an earlier one. And that's correct. Obviously that worked. But what I think I heard though was, if you had an early one and your time was up to book another one, that you couldn't book a later one until you used that early one. Like you couldn't have a 12:00.
Like a triple stack.
Well, let's just say you had a 12:00 that you booked park open, right? You had a 12:00. 10:00 comes and you book a 3:00. For some reason, was I wrong that I thought they were saying that you couldn't book a later one than the one you had. You could book an earlier one, but you couldn't book a later one.
So like because that's really confusing.
You know what I'm saying?
So at 7, let me go through the whole process. So at 7 a.m., I book the 3:00 Slinky. Park opens at 8.
Yes.
2 hours after 8 is 10:00. I'm eligible to book another one.
Right.
I book a 12:00 Tower of Terror. So now in my app, I'm holding 12:00 Tower of Terror, 3:00 Slinky. Is that what you're saying?
No, so don't do that. Go back. So at 10:00, when you're eligible again, you have a 3:00 Slinky.
Yeah.
Let's just say the only thing available is like a 6:00 Rock and Roller Coaster.
Oh, beyond your original 7:00.
Yes. The way I remember those videos saying is you cannot book anything later. You can book something sooner, but you couldn't book anything later to stack because you had to use your first one, your early one first, your earliest one first. I could be wrong about that, but I thought that's what I heard from people. We proved that was wrong. You can book a later one.
Yeah.
When you're eligible, you can book whatever you want, right? There was no restrictions.
Yeah, and
maybe I could be wrong about that, but I just felt like it was always that that's how you can stack, because you can book an earlier one because your lightning lane is not for a while.
Yeah.
But you can't start stacking like the evenings is what I don't know. But
until you scan
into the other one.
Yeah.
But apparently the rule just seems like every 2 hours you can book another one.
You can book another one.
Doesn't matter how many you have. Did we ever have
at least how we experienced it.
Did we ever have 3?
No.
We never had 3.
No.
Okay, so we always end up using one or something like that.
Because as soon as we would scan into that next time, we were right there in the ride picking another time.
Okay, now that's a good question. So let's think about that scenario. So let me think about this. So we book, let's go back to Slinky again. We booked Slinky at 3 at 7 a.m. Our next eligible time was 10:00, right? Or technically 10:30 because Hollywood opened at 8:30. So at 10:30, let's just say we booked a 12:00 Runaway Railway. So 2 hours from 10:30 is 12:30. But we walk in the Runaway at 12. Are we able to book right after that, or do we have to wait for 12:30? Because we have the Slinky one.
Oh, gosh, I don't remember how that happened.
Yeah, did I?
Because I feel like it could have gone both ways.
I feel like we had to wait.
I remember us waiting on a couple, but I also remember immediately booking. Because I would get in, we would scan, and I'd say, I just grabbed, I don't know, I grabbed something cheesy.
Yeah. See, dang it.
But I could have been able to grab something, that one cheesy ride, because it was 2 hours after the time I booked the other one.
I know.
And not necessarily immediately scanning.
I feel like we scanned a couple times, and because we had a later one, we ran into the problem of saying, you can't book this until so-and-so.
Until your 2 hour.
Until the 2 hour.
Not necessarily just because
if you have one lightning lane booked, if you're holding on to a lightning lane waiting to go to it, you cannot book another one until your 2 hours.
Yeah.
So even if you have one and you use it, I think if you still have one, you cannot book.
But if you don't have one just hanging out in your app for later and you just got on and scanned, you can immediately get on and you immediately book another one.
Yes, absolutely. And then it's 2 hours from that point.
Then it's 2 hours from that point
yes.
to book another one.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't.
Which I think that's what we did. I think we experienced both sides of it because I remember immediately booking others because probably we didn't have a late one.
No, we didn't
booked.
have any. Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
Or
are we as confusing as ever?
Or
I feel like we're so confusing.
Or like
right
you said, it was beyond the 2 hours.
Yeah.
That we, our eligibility was available at that point. But if you're holding on to one, like you book a later one, just know that you're on the 2 hour window basically, because you can't. Like I said, I don't think you can book one early, walk right in, and then
scan again.
But I don't. But I could be wrong about that.
I
don't remember.
This is horrible. We should know this.
I don't remember about
because
that.
I feel like we experienced every aspect of the app, like the 2 hour, the stacking. When people were like, "You can't stack," but we stacked. I mean,
yeah, we definitely
stacked all the time.
Yeah, we
and held
stacked.
on. We did the refresh, like if there was like because something wasn't showing up. I can't remember. We were wanting to ride something. Again, maybe that we just stood in line for and it wasn't showing up and I was just trying to grab because of wait times and they will appear sporadically. Mm-hmm. You just keep refreshing and checking your phone and then we were able to grab it.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Again, I could be wrong.
We need it in fine print.
I'm pretty confident that if you have a later lightning lane, so let's just say you book.
You're holding on
to a slinky late in the day, like a 5 o'clock. I'm pretty sure you have to book within the 2 hour window of park open. So, because you booked that at 7, park opens at 8:30. At 10:30, you book a 1 o'clock Haunted Mansion. When at 12:30, you're eligible again, right? 10:30 you book Haunted Mansion. 12:30 you're eligible again. But I don't think. I guess you could book another one. You could book 3. I mean, I don't think there's any. But as soon as you ride your earliest fast pass or earliest lightning lane, I don't believe you can automatically start rebook because you have a later lightning lane. I think it's based on the 2 hour thing.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure. But if you don't have, like you said,
I don't know what all we've said.
But if you don't have a late lightning lane and you have an early one and you're booking or you're riding your lightning lanes, you're immediately able to book right after that.
As long as
you don't have another one. That's the way I'm pretty sure I remember how it worked. We were able to stack because we did every 2 hours. But I remember scanning and asking you one time. I remember trying to think about this, remembering it, but I remember us scanning one time and saying, "Hey, see if you can book it right away." And I remember you said you couldn't, and I think that's because we were.
And it gave us a time.
We had a later time,
with a 2 hour
and
window.
we were within the 2 hours still.
Yeah.
Right. That's so we had to wait till that 2 hours up because it gave us the time. Then we could book another one, even though we had one later. I'm pretty sure, and that's because that was when we had that late Haunted Mansion one, and we were experiencing that through that day. I think so. That's what I'm going with.
Oh.
But either way, like Brooke said though, I
feel like that was so confusing though.
It is a little confusing. It is a little confusing, and which is sad because I think fast passes were so much easier. I will say fast passes was so much easier
and less time on your phone.
Totally less time.
That was less time wasted in the parks.
Yeah, that was a little distracting too.
Yeah, because you are now tied to your phone. That is a true fact.
Yep.
Because we were like this refreshing. I mean, like I was in the app all the time, like when, trying to check see if anything's up. Like it was like constantly like this doing the refresh.
Yep.
But
I feel fast passes. We just looked at it when you needed it.
Yeah.
And you already
and that would be as soon as we scanned.
Yeah, and in Fast Pass, you could kind of plan your day. You had the 3 that you could book, and you kind of knew you had to use those anyway.
So we booked them first.
Usually,
early in the morning.
you wouldn't be able to go back to it till midday anyway.
Yeah.
So you weren't looking at that point. So I definitely think Fast Passes had a more. It was easier for one, and then I think it allowed you to enjoy.
Yeah.
The park versus being in your phone from every 2 hours, and not just every 2 hours, because if
All
you're
the time.
hitting lightning lanes, you're always in there.
Yeah.
So
Always.
anyway,
but
I think that's
with all that said, I liked it.
I think it worked, and I liked how you could prioritize your rides in there on the tip board. You can, move the ones up that you're paying attention to, and you can sort that, and you can design. Honestly, I did like looking in there and it saying like, giving you a partial itinerary, like, hey, look, this ride is moderate during this time. Maybe look to do that. Things like that. I think. I think it helped. I think my biggest thing was I don't think times were that available at the time I was trying to book them. It seemed like everything was at least an hour or so out. And then buried in your phone a lot, I think, is the other downside, I think.
And there's definitely two camps of I just hate Genie Plus and I love it.
Yeah.
I'm right now on the love it side.
Yeah. I love it too.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think we'll do another, when we get into our overall trip, I'm sure we'll talk about it again. But I think there is a question of whether or not some parks you do it and some parks you don't.
Definitely.
So.
And time of year.
Time of year is big. Absolutely.
Because maybe in, I don't know, the end of May, you don't need to have it for all the parks. Right. But the week before Christmas and the week after Christmas, you need it for all the parks.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that plays an effect too.
Yeah.
That's just my 2 cents. There it was.
Good job.
Thanks.
Good job.
But I feel like there was something else I was going to say about it, and I can't remember what I was going to say.
Oh, you better, because we're about done.
No! I can't remember what I was going to say. Genie Plus, our trip.
About time of year.
No, it was before that.
Whether or not some parks are not.
No. Whether to buy it or not buy it. Do we like it? Don't like it? Oh, I know what I was going to say. It's also one of those things like when you get in and start messing with it on that first day, then it's a breeze the rest of your trip.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yes, totally. It was easy. It was easy to understand how it works.
Yeah.
Again, it's just a matter of paying attention to it all the time. That's the one thing.
And what you can do before you go on your trip is just kind of watch a kind of pattern of times, because you can get in there now and go to the tip board section and see the wait times, get on there at 7 a.m. and see what's gone or what's the next available time, or, kind of get an idea of it.
Yeah, actually that's, so that hand in hand with the Fast Pass, that's what I wish. I wish we were able to plan our day sooner. Because with Fast Passes, we booked at 30 days in advance?
Yeah.
So was it 30 or 60?
Fast Passes were 60 and dining was 180 at that time.
So 60 days, we knew what our day looked like.
Yeah.
And we could plan around the rides. True. Here, it's like you can't do that because at 7, you don't even know what you're riding yet.
Yeah.
So we had to, I felt like there was a lot more maneuvering in the day around the lightning lanes.
And now Genie Plus does take into account, and it'll let you know, like, if you have overlapping plans.
It does. It does do
like
that.
Like if you have...
We had dining. We overlapped
schedule.
Haunted Mansion with our dining.
Yeah. And I was like, they had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, we ran and rode it.
And you ran.
We literally ran, rode it, and
it came back.
But we beat our food.
But you beat the food. I know. We placed the order, and you all came back before the food arrived.
But that is what I don't know if they'll ever do it, but I feel like if they do modify it, I feel like they could allow you to lightning lane sooner than that morning.
Right.
Like it would help the day before, even if you were able to do it the day before. Mm-hmm. So you can just have a little bit more of a plan going into that day. Because that's what I always harped at, especially on this show when we first started the show. It's like what I love about going to Disney World is that we know what we were doing every day and what time we were doing it, right? we were going to go to breakfast. We were going to hit ride at this time. We were going to go shopping at this time. We were going to go pin trading this time. We were going to hit a ride this time, go to dinner. You know what I mean? It's like, I liked having that itinerary. Now I feel like we're making the itinerary up as you go during the day. I mean, you have your dining set maybe. And obviously we mobile order for food and stuff like that. But like, the rides part, I just feel like you're adjusting to when your lightning lanes pop up and then figuring out what you want to do in the times in between, right? So that was different. It was just different. It didn't make it any worse experience by any means. Yeah. I mean, we definitely got done, but I felt like there were a couple times where we're like, oh, what do we want to do next? And I don't remember ever saying that ever in the 7 times we went before that. Like, I never remember ever saying that. Like, what are we going to do now while we wait to go to this lightning?
Yeah, we have an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah,
now what?
I never remember saying anything like that before. So it's different. I think it'll take us another time to adjust it. Maybe again, maybe we figure something out better. But that was our first run at it. But the bottom line is we rode everything we wanted to ride.
Oh yeah, and multiple times.
Yeah, we rode Remy twice.
Yeah,
because we got virtual and we paid for it.
Yeah.
We would have rode Rise twice. We only did one day at Animal, so we only did Fly Passes once.
Or once.
We did. We rode Test Track twice, right?
Yes. Sorry.
But Test Track, was that a paid? That wasn't a paid, was it? No, because Remy was the paid.
No.
Test Track normally is a paid,
and they took it
free
off
this time. So we lightning landed and rope dropped it, so we rode it twice. And then it went down the whole day.
Yes,
which that's what we were doing. Yes, that happened
Slinky.
to a lot of our rides. We rode it and then it go offline for a few hours.
That is true. I'm looking at something on the app, but keep going.
Anyway, we did buy. I want to say
pins. We did a lot of pin shopping.
We did a lot of pin shopping. Trip. We got a nice 50th anniversary pin, the Mickey and Minnie one. We got. I don't think we picked up a holiday. I didn't find a good holiday pin.
A holiday pin?
Like last year.
And we could have, our time to do that probably would have been during the party.
Yeah.
And we didn't even.
I didn't see. I looked. I didn't see really good ones. But we got our resort pin, Coronado Springs.
Always.
The girls got a lot of the pins out of their collections and bought some pins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So more of that we'll talk about as we continue talking about our trip over the next few weeks. We're already planning our 2022, dare I say, trips.
I know, because I was like, no, my app's empty. I can't have plans in my app. I don't like that.
I feel like I can say it because I think it's going to happen, but we're talking about going to Disneyland.
Yeah, Land and World.
Disneyland and World. We talked about a cruise, but I don't think we're doing a cruise this year. I think we might be putting that off another year. But I'm excited actually to go to Disneyland. I'm actually excited to go to Disneyland because it's totally something different.
The girls are pumped.
Yeah, longer flight, obviously.
Yeah,
but we'll let you know about that as we get talking to planning that.
Go see my old stomping grounds.
I know. Brooke lived there for a few years. I've been there. I was there a lot in the early 2000s with work, back and forth for a while. I haven't been there in a long time. We got engaged in Los Angeles, so
at the Hollywood
sign. So we're gonna show the girls that. I think it'll be
it'll be fun for them to see like the real man's Chinese theater and how it looks compared to Hollywood Studios Chinese theater.
That's right.
That'll be fun to see all that.
Lot to do out there. But not as many park days. I feel like because there's only 2 parks.
No, we're only doing 4.
2 each, right? Is that what we're talking about?
We've never done just 4 park days ever.
No, but you can't. You can't.
I know
Disney World because there's 4 parks. Here, there's only 2, and they're a little smaller. So
I know.
Anyway,
you mean yeah.
So we'll let you know when that happens. And like I said, the Coolies will be on to kind of give you all and us their take, their first trip as a family, their perspective to Disney World. Because I don't even know if they listen to us. But
oh no,
I will say, how many times did they make the first bus that we left?
Oh, they might confess to that on the other show.
Was it
the
Twice?
last 2 days
Last 2 days, yeah.
of our trip.
So they made it to the second bus every other time before that. We were already at the parks.
FaceTiming. Here's how you get there.
One time though, they actually beat us because we had to hit the stops, whereas they went straight there. So anyway, that didn't work out, but it all worked out. We had a great time. I feel like they had their eyes opened on some things, and I'm curious to know what they fully, because we haven't actually sat down and fully really talked about it. It's been Christmas and New Year's, and everybody's off and doing their own thing. So thanks everybody, though. It's 2022 now. We will again keep talking about our trip and what's to come next for us. A lot more things coming, and of course at Brooke Cottingham Travel.
Yes, and I want to say thanks to everybody that booked last year and the year before and all the years before. But like, my goodness, it was fabulous. And as I always say, my favorite part is just because I like to just not be, emails or text messages. I like to talk to you on the phone or meet with you wherever, like if you're in the local areas, just to kind of hear, about you, about your family, about what you like, what you want to see on your trip, what you want to do. And it just kind of having those conversations gives me an idea on how to guide you in your trip if you want guidance. It's, I don't know. It's been fun. That's awesome. Yeah. I've loved it.
No, thank you to everybody, truly, because I feel like, I think we even looked at this a little bit. I think half the people you've booked recently have people you've never met before. And that has to do with either obviously word of mouth or, of course, the show. So thank you. I know a lot of people are coming from the show. So
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Pretty sweet. I appreciate it.
Yes, and we will get soon. We will get our girls on here to talk about their experiences too with the trip. So
yes,
all right.
Yeah, because they did new things. It was Eliza's big year this year.
Yes,
this
of
trip.
Course, Sam's second time she's celebrated her birthday at Disney. Yeah. What a way to do it.
I know. Lucky kid.
Yeah.
Dang her.
All right. Oh, real quick, last thing. I just got to throw it out there because you showed me it.
What?
Man, is the place to be during New Year's not Disney World?
Oh, yes. Did y'all watch any TikToks on New Year's Eve at Disney World? That's where I saw it. Like, Epcot was killing it.
Slamming. Magic Kingdom.
It was like laser shows and fog machines and music. I was like, what is this?
I think next time we need to leave the day after Christmas and stay through New Year's.
That was like, oh my gosh, that looks so fun. Magic Kingdom did the same exact thing.
Yep.
Like we saw over in Tomorrowland, them having a big dance party. In Frontierland, they had a DJ up on the catwalk in between the Country Bears building up there where Chip and Dale have been lately. I mean, it was
and then
like,
they do fireworks too, right?
What?
At midnight?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. We got to do that one year.
Epcot did fireworks also.
Yeah, we got to do that one year.
It's like, what is this? And I kept scrolling through, showing him all the videos. I was like, look at it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's the next.
So anyway, think
that'll
about
be
that.
another new experience.
Think about that. Book a New Year's trip down there. Okay. How many times am I going to say it? But thanks. Thanks again.
Yes.
Hope everybody, again, had a great New Year's, and more to come from us in 2022. Thanks, babe.
Toodles. Love
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
See ya real soon.